Hello, good afternoon.
Hello and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Today we will study about proteins. Fats tag করবো। Protein is a macronutrient which will take in huge amount. Then types of proteins are conjugated proteins. Conjugated proteins contain some non-proteinous substances. Some protein occurs in cells in combinations with prosthetic groups and hence they are important for the nutritionist. Conjugative proteins are proteins with some non-protein substances is present in conjugative proteins. Not fully proteins. These proteins are not fully proteins. Some protein substances are available in this kind of proteins. So one is glycoprotein. Most of the naturally occurring conjugated proteins are glycoproteins. Glucose and proteins are attached to each other. Then some portions of glucose are there, carbohydrates are there, and some portions of proteins are there. It is known as glycoproteins. Sugar molecules are covalently bound to them. The sugar proteins and amino acids both are bound with each other. It is known as glycoproteins, especially those secreted from the cell. They range in size from a molecular weight as 15,000 to more than 1 million. Their molecular sizes are 15,000 or more, above 15,000 to 1 million. They are more than glycoproteins are secreted from our cells. The carbohydrate components varies from 1 to 85%. Glycoproteins with more than 80% of the molecules as carbohydrate are called proteoglycans. In glycoproteins, where 80% of the molecules, when more than 80% carbohydrates are present in those kinds of proteins, it is known as proteoglycans because it contains more than or 80% of molecules of carbohydrate. That's why we will call as proteoglycans. Then what is lipoproteins? Second one is lipoproteins. These are the multi-component complexes of lipids and proteins that form distinct molecular aggregates. They contain polar neutral lipids. When some portions are in glycoproteins, some portions of glucose or carbohydrates are there, and some portions of proteins were there. In these cases, lipoproteins, some portions of lipids or fats are there, and some portions of protein. Protein and lipids, when combined with each other, it known as lipoproteins. Then neutral lipids, cholesterol esters in addition to protein. These proteins and lipids are held together by non-covalent bonds. Lipids are primarily hydrophobic and cannot be easily transported through an aqueous environment as blood. So here it is, the statement is lipids are primarily hydrophobic and cannot be easily transported through an aqueous primarily environment as blood, because lipid is always insoluble in water. That's why it cannot be easily mixed up with blood, yeah, solvent matters. The lipoproteins combinations renders the lipid molecules hydrophilic and it transported in the blood to tissues which can use of store of lipids. The lipoprotein combinations, lipo and proteins, renders the lipid molecules hydrophilic and transported in the blood to the tissues. It will transported through our blood to whole body parts. Through blood to whole body parts. Then third one is nucleoproteins. Nucleoproteins are combinations of nucleic acids and simple proteins, which usually consist of a large number of basic amino acids. In nucleoproteins, lots here the proportions of proteins are more in comparison to lipoproteins and glycoproteins. Nucleoproteins are very complex structure and numerous functional activities. All living cells contain nucleoproteins. Some cells, such as viruses are composed of nucleoproteins. So it is pure form of proteins, and all living cells contain nucleoproteins. Other conjugative proteins are phosphoproteins and metalloproteins are loose as their phosphate carry protein, or tight as the phosphate in casein or iron in ferritin. The iron in ferritin and casein in milk proteins, phosphates in casein. Casein are milk products. Milk products contains some types of phosphates, and it is known as phosphoproteins. Then iron, zinc, copper, etc. These are other types of proteins. It is conjugated proteins, or it can be found in milk proteins, iron proteins, then zinc, copper, etc. तामाने गोटे रहिला प्योर फॉर्म ऑफ प्रोटीन जोटा कि बॉडी बिल्डिंग रे हमकू ये माने काम दिए जेंति कि हमकू किछि गोटे एक्सीडेंट हला हमर किछि ब्लीडिंग हे गला तो ता रिकवरी पई ब्लीडिंग बॉल ब्लॉक बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक सेति पे कुआ जाए अमीनो एसिड तो अमीनो एसिड टा प्रोटीन रो गोटे गोटे यूनिट को अमीनो एसिड कुआ जाए तो सेति पे कि प्रोटीन रो रिक्वायरमेंट बहुत अधिक हम जो ग्रोन अप चाइल्ड लैक्टेटिंग प्रेग्नेंट जो माने के ग्रोथ होउची कि बढ़िबार किछि जिंस चले तो सेठी हम प्रोटीन रो दरकार तो प्रोटीन रो टाइप्स हमें देखु खाली जे हमें प्योर प्रोटीन कहनु केतेटा ग्लाइकोप्रोटीन्स रहउची जो थे कॉम्बिनेशन होकर रोचे हमर ग्लूकोज कार्बोहाइड्रेट एंड प्रोटीन्स आ गोटे जगह फैट्स एंड प्रोटीन्स कॉम्बिनेशंस रोचे आ गोटे जगह प्योर फॉर्म ऑफ न्यूक्लियोप्रोटीन्स पूरा सेल हमर जोटा बॉडी जो बिल्डिंग होची कि गोटे ऑर्गेनिज्म होची कि गोटे गोटे लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म जोटा होची जो सेल रे ताको न्यूक्लियोप्रोटीन्स कहा जाए अदर कंजुगेटिव प्रोटीन जेमते कि हिम प्रोटीन हमर हेमोग्लोबिन पे जो प्रोटीन यूज होची सेटा कैसिन रे जो प्रोटीन हमर जो फास्फोरस जेमती हमर मिल्क रे जोटा रोचे सेटा गोटे टाइप रे एंती हे कि अदर्स टाइप्स ऑफ प्रोटीन्स आर देयर ता माने हमर बॉडी माने जते बळे कुछ लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म माने गोटे क्रिएट होची तो सेइथरे हमर प्रोटीन्स रो भूमिका बहुत अधिक देन व्हाट इज derived proteins. Derived proteins are the protein molecules apparently formed through hydrolytic changes in the molecule. Primary protein derivatives are protein molecules hydrolysis involving slight alternates, example proteins, metaproteins, coagulated proteins. এটা बहुत important. तो proteins रो types हमें केमती ताकू कहिबा ना proteins these are insoluble products which results from the incipient action of very dilute acids or enzymes, example casein जेमती curdled milk, fibrin coagulated fibrinogens. तो आमर when we are curdle the milk or it is the form of the curd the peptide form protein it is known as dilute acids or when it is when a insoluble products when we dilute acids or enzyme or in curdling form it is known as very good proteins. Fibrin coagulated fibrogen. Then second one is metaprotein, proteins resulting from the action of acids and alkali, whereby the molecule is sufficiently altered to form protein soluble in weak acids and alkali, is insoluble in neutral solvent. Out hala metaproteins. Metaproteins also it reacts with acids and alkali to form one. It is also in curdling form. It is also one type of proteins soluble in weak acids and it is soluble in weak acids and alkali and such as cheese, paneer, etc. Then the third one is coagulated proteins, insoluble proteins which result from the action of heat or protein solutions or the action of alcohol or the protein, example cooked egg, albumin, etc. Coagulated protein means it is in liquid form when we will heat it in a specific temperature and it will harden. After cooking it will harden. Example egg albumin or egg albumin precipitated by alcohol, etc. So three types of proteins are there. One is protein, it is in peptide form such as curd. Another one is metaproteins. It is also chemical reactions when it is attached to alkaline and acids. It is just such as cheese, paneers, etc. Then coagulated protein is it is in solid form or when we will heat it in a specific temperature, or with the attachment of any alcohol solution, then it harden after cooking. It is known as coagulated protein. Or example is egg albumin. अंडाटा ଯେତେବେଳେ liquid form ରେ ଅଛି ତାକୁ specific temperature ରେ ବା କିଛି ଗୋଟେ alcohol solution ରେ ଆମେ ଯଦି କିଛି ତାର ମାନେ contact ରେ ଆସୁଛି ତେବେ ସେଟା hardening ହେଇଯାଏ. It is a very good quality of protein known as coagulated proteins. Then meta proteins ହେଲା କିଛି ଗୋଟେ alkali ଆଉ acids contact ରେ ଆସିଲା ପରେ ଯୋଉଟା soluble ହେଇଯାଏ ତା ସାଙ୍ଗରେ, ତ ସେଇଟା ଆମର ହେଲା meta proteins. And other proteins ହେଲା ଯେତେବେଳେ କିଛି ଗୋଟେ enzyme କିଛି ଗୋଟେ food material ସହିତ add ହେଲା ଆଉ ସେଟା ହେଲା peptide form ରେ change ହେଲା, ତ it is known as codling ବା ଦହି ଯୋଉଟା କହୁଛନ୍ତି, ତ fibrin ବା fibrinogen ତାକୁ କୁହାଯାଏ. ତ ତିନି ପ୍ରକାର derivative proteins are there. Yeah, this is all known as primary protein derivatives. Then secondary proteins are proteases soluble in water, not coagulate by heat, precipitated by saturating their solution with ammonium. Then proteases is completely insoluble, soluble in water, not coagulated by heat. After heating, it will not harden or change the shape, precipitated by saturating their solution in with ammonia. Then second one is peptones. It is also soluble in water, not coagulated by heat or not precipitated by stirring, saturating their solution in ammonium, any ammonium sulfates. It will not change their shape. It is completely soluble in water. These represent a further stage of classes of the proteases. Peptones, proteases, then peptide. These are the compounds containing two or more amino acids. Two or more units of amino acids are there, and anhydride or two amino acids is called dipeptide. When peptide means what? When more than two amino acids are linked to each other, then formed one proteins, then it is known as peptide. When more than four amino acids there, it is known as dipeptide. One having three amino acids are known as tripeptide, and containing several amino acids, polypeptide. Peptide, which one is good? Polypeptide is good. Good means a good biological value protein. Peptides result from further hydrolytic levels of the peptones. When more and more units of amino acid, where the more and more amino acids in a food materials, or when we will prepare one food containing of protein or more than four amino acids, then it is good quality of proteins, is known as polypeptide. Then here secondary derivatives of proteins are peptones and peptides. And peptides examples are curdling of milk. We have already studied in previous class. Then classification based on chemical properties. Then monocarboxylic acids such as glycine, alanine, valine, leucine, isoleucine, serine, and thiourinatas. Branch chain amino acids are there. Then classification based on chemical properties. These are known as monoamino monocarboxylic acid. Then second one is monoamino dicarboxylic acid. It is asparatic acid and glutamic acid. Then third one is diamino monocarboxylic acid. Arginine and lysine are amino acids. Then sulfurin containing amino acids, cysteine. Then cysteine, methionines are sulfur containing amino acid. Then fifth one is aromatic and heterocyclic amino acids. Trypsin, histidine, tryptophan, proline, hydroproline, etc. These all are good amino acids. Some are essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids we will take from depending chemical property, optic activities and amino acids in proteins and classified under the head. These are the essential amino acids. Then classification based on amino acid contents. Nutritionally, amino acids are classified on the basis of the body's ability to synthesize them as essential, not synthesized in the body, not produced by the body, are essential we will get from food. These are the essential amino acids we will consume through foods. Then, and non-essential amino acids, indispensable amino acid which can be part of the diet, while dispensable amino acid need not be present in the food. Some are the essential amino acids not produced by the body we will take through food, and essential and non-essential amino acids are already produced by our body. Body already produce those type of amino acids known as non-essential. It is not essential. Then which are essential we will get from food. Then lysine and definition, however, some fluid and the metabolic level, lysine and threonines are perhaps the only metabolically indispensable amino acids because they are not transmitted to any nutritionally significant extent. This is the crucial point because lysine and threonine are the first and second limiting amino acid in cereal proteins. In cereal proteins such as dal, black grams, lentils, etc. These are the cereal proteins. In cereal proteins, it contains lysine and threonine. Then lysine is the first limiting amino acid in human milk. Also, human milk contain good quality of amino acid named as lysine. Glutamic acids and probably serine are the only truly dispensable amino acids since these are the only amino acid which can be produced by the reduction aminations of the appropriate keto acids. Then this is the important metabolic distinction from the dispensable amino acid. For example, triationine precursors is the indispensable amino acids, while for others such as cysteine both are essential amino acids. Methionine and sulfur donors, and which are sulfur containing amino acids, are there, non-essential amino acids. Then as the metabolic level, the organism ability to synthesize a conditionally essential amino acid is constrained by the availability of the suitable amino acids. In here, thus very low birth weight infants are unable to synthesize cysteine and proline and lack the ability to synthesize glycine, which are under the babies which are at the birth in very low birth rate of very low birth weight baby by born, then they were known as undernourished baby. The in their body they cannot be produced cysteine and proline and lack of ability to synthesize glycine, so they were not able to produce this type of amino acids, so that in birth time their weight was very minimal birth weight rate than the normal baby weight. ମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ଛୁଆ ଜନ୍ମ ହୁଏ, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଅଣ୍ଡରୱେଟ୍ ବେବି ହେଲା, ତ ସେଇ ଟାଇମ୍ରେ ଆଇଦର ଆମିନୋ ଏସିଡ୍ର ଡେଫିସିଏନ୍ସି ବା ଏଇସବୁ ଆମିନୋ ଏସିଡ୍ ଯେଉଁ ସିଷ୍ଟାଇନ୍ ପ୍ରୋଲାଇନ୍ ଲ୍ୟାକ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଆଭେଲେବିଲିଟି ଟୁ ପ୍ରଡକ୍ଟ ଗ୍ଲାଇସେନ୍ ଅଲସୋ. These factors are important because human milk protein have low glycine content. Human milk ରେ ଏତେ ମାନେ ଗ୍ଲାଇସିନ୍ ଟା ଏତେ ନଥାଏ, ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ସେମାନେ ଆମର 6 months ହେଲା ପରେ କିଛି ଆମର କିଛି ଫୁଡ୍ ଆଡ୍ କରିବାକୁ, ସପ୍ଲିମେଣ୍ଟ କମ୍ପ୍ଲିମେଣ୍ଟାରୀ ଫୁଡ୍ ଆଡ୍ କରିବାକୁ ଆମକୁ ପଡ଼େ. ତ କାରଣ ହ୍ୟୁମାନ୍ ମିଲ୍କ କଣ୍ଟେନ୍ have low glycine contents, ଗୋଟେ ଭଲ amino acid ଯୋଉଟାକି human milks ରେ ନଥାଏ, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ବେବି ମାନେ malnourished ହୁଅନ୍ତି. Some babies were. Amino acids are classified based on the amino acid content given in the table. Essential amino acids are this: methionine, tryptophan, valine, isoleucine, leucine, phenylalanine, lysine, threonine, arginine, histidine. Only histidine is only for infants. Conditionally essential: trypsin, cysteine, aspartic acid, serine. Then glutamic acid, alanine, proline, and glycine, non-essential amino acid. So essential amino acids are this, and conditional essential amino acids are this. We will we will take through our food, protein rich food, a high biological value protein rich food, and non-essentials are already in our body, will produce in our body. Then complete proteins. Then complete proteins is very good biological value proteins which contains very good biological protein is egg. Egg white is contains very good biological value protein. These proteins promote growth and provide all essential amino acids. Egg contains all essential amino acids. Essential amino acids, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 essential amino acids are there. But eggs contain all kinds of 11 essential amino acids. That's why government fixes in Anganwadis, in Balwadis, for mothers and children as a complete protein as egg protein. That's why, because it contains all 11 kinds of essential amino acids. ମାନେ ଅଣ୍ଡା ସବୁଠୁ ଗୁଡ୍ ବାୟୋଲୋଜିକାଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍। ତ ଅଣ୍ଡାରେ ସବୁ ପ୍ରକାର 11 ଏସେନ୍ସିଆଲ ଆମିନୋ ଏସିଡ୍ ଯେଉଁଟାକି ଆମ ବଡିର ଦରକାର ହୁଏ। ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ଅଣ୍ଡା ଖାଇଲେ ତା ଦେହରେ ସବୁ ପ୍ରକାର ଆମିନୋ ଏସିଡ୍ସ ରୁହେ। ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି ଯେଉଁମାନେ ଗ୍ରୋନ୍ ଅପ୍ ଷ୍ଟେଜ୍ରେ ଥାଆନ୍ତି, ମଦର୍ସ, ଲାକ୍ଟେଟିଂ ମଦର, ସରି ଲାକ୍ଟେସନ୍ ପ୍ରେଗନେଣ୍ଟ, ଆଡୋଲେସେଣ୍ଟ ଚିଲଡ୍ରେନ୍, ଏମାନେ ଯେଉଁ ଗ୍ରୋନ୍ ଅପ୍ ଷ୍ଟେଜ୍ରେ ଥାଆନ୍ତି, ତ ସେମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁକି ଏଗ୍ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ଟା କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ୍ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ରେ ଆମେ ସେଟାକୁ ନେଉଛୁ। ତ ଏଗ୍ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଭେରି ଗୁଡ୍ ଫର୍ ଗ୍ରୋଥ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ପ୍ରୋଭାଇଡ୍ ଫର୍ ପ୍ରମୋଟ୍ ଗ୍ରୋଥ୍। ଯେଉଁମାନେ ଗ୍ରୋନ୍ ଅପ୍ ଷ୍ଟେଜ୍ରେ ଥାଆନ୍ତି ସେମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁକି ଭଲ। ଦେନ୍ ପାର୍ସିଆଲି କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ୍ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ସ ଆର୍ ହ୍ୱିଟ୍ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ସ। These promote moderate growth and partially lack one or more essential amino acids. So partially means lacking of proteins. Partially means some portions are absent. That's why partial is wheat protein, gluten. Wheat protein is known as gluten. So partially promote moderate growth and partially lack one or more essential acid. So it promotes moderate growth of the grown up persons. Then incomplete protein, gelatin and GN. These do not promote growth and completely lack one or more essential acids. Very good amino acids are polypeptides form. Then it contains incomplete proteins when we will use or when we will take gelatin form of any food items, it contains no proteins. That's why they do not promote growth and lack one. Promote growth means complete protein is egg protein. Then partially protein means wheat protein or gluten proteins. It works as moderate form. Moderate form means it it promotes moderately growth. Then incomplete proteins are completely not proteins are not used in our body in our promote growth and development, etc. ତେଣୁକରି କମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ୍ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ ହେଲା ଏଗ୍ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍, ପାର୍ସିଆଲି ହେଲା ହ୍ୱିଟ୍ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍, ଇନକମ୍ପ୍ଲିଟ୍ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ ହେଲା ଆମର ଯେଉଁ ଜେଲେଟିନ୍ ଫର୍ମରେ ଯେଉଁଟା ଜେଲ୍ ଫର୍ମରେ ଥାଏ। ତ ସେଇଟା ବି ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ରେ ଆମେ କାଉଣ୍ଟ କରୁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ସେଇଥିରେ ଯେହେତୁ ସେଇଥିରେ ଲ୍ୟାକ୍ ଅଫ୍ ୱାନ୍ ଅର୍ ମୋର୍ ଏସେନ୍ସିଆଲ୍ ଆମିନୋ ଏସିଡ୍, ଯେମିତିକି ପଲି ଆମିନୋ ଏସିଡ୍ ତା ଦେହରେ ବହୁତ ଆମିନୋ ଏସିଡ୍ ଲ୍ୟାକ୍ କରେ, ତ ସେଇଟା ଆମର ଏତେ ଇଏ ହୁଏନି। ତେଣୁକରି ଏଇଠୁ ଆମେ ଜାଣିବା କ୍ଲାସିଫିକେସନ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଆମିନୋ ଏସିଡ୍ ଜାଣିଲେ ଆଉ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ଟାର ଜାଣିଲେ। Food sources are, first one is cereals and legumes. Meat, one is animal proteins, one is plant proteins. Animals protein is a very good biological value protein and plant proteins is lesser than animal proteins. तो मैंने animal proteins टारे ही बेसी भल्ला protein थाए। तो first one is egg, boiled egg. Cereals contain 6 to 14 gram. In 100 gram cereals, we will take 100 grams cereals. Then we get 6 to 14 gram proteins. Legumes 18 to 24. Soybean contains more proteins, such as in 100 gram soybean contains 43 gram proteins. Nuts and oil seeds 18 to 14, 100 gram nuts and oil seeds. Then oil meals are 45 to 55. Hen eggs is 12 to 1300 grams. Hen eggs means two eggs is equal to 100 grams of egg. Then 12 to 13 gram proteins. Then milk 53 to 4 in 100 ml. Milk powder 26 to 27. Then fish contain 18 to 20. 100 gram means 2 to 3 pieces. Meat and liver contain 18 to 22. Then which food contains more protein in comparison to veg and non-veg. Then oil-based milk, hen egg, 12 to 13, milk powder. Then we will take some cereals, some legumes, some soybean. In every consecutive day, we will take non-veg. Then every consecutive day, we will take veg. Then when we balance the proteins items, then we will get good quality of protein. Then we balance करके सब नब्बा, then we will get good proteins with a good taste. Then 4.2.3 digestion, absorption and transport of proteins. We will study digestion. The daily protein intake for about 50 to 100 gram. We will consume per day 50 to 100 grams of protein, and the protein of enzymes lost by drop of epithelial cells and mucins which are found in the gut in most completely digest and absorb. It will absorb in gut alimentary canals. Then it is very efficient process to ensure the continuous supply of amino acids to the whole body amino acid pool. The purpose of protein digestion is to liberate the amino acid of the consumed protein. This is accomplished through a series of enzymes, which is we will study about enzymes. Enzymes are enzymes which helps the proteins to digest, absorption. Then enzymes are pepsin. It is found in stomach. Then peptide bond involving the aromatic amino acids. It is found in stomach. Then the protein started digestion in stomach. Then trypsins are in small intestine or duodenum. Peptide bonds involving arginine and lysine. It is the target linkages are there. Then chymotrypsin is also in duodenum, and peptidase is also present in small intestine. Carboxypeptidase A is small intestine. Then carboxypeptidase B is small intestine. Then all total protein digestion started in stomach, then completed in small intestine or duodenum. Then cellular brush. Then the food chymes are absorbed in the walls of the intestine and excreted through the colon. Waste materials are. तमने एठे में बुझिलु हमें एतले फूड के छोटे प्रोटीनियस आइटम्स खाउछु सेटा हमरो डाइजेशन स्टार्ट हबो स्टोमक रे with the help of pepsin जोटा एंजाइम थाए पेप्सिन गोटे एंजाइम थाए हमरो स्टोमक रे जोटा कि मिल्क प्रोटीन टाकू से कन्वर्ट करे पेप्टाइड फॉर्म रे देन तापरे हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड मध्य थाए पेटरे तापरे लास्ट हमर सबु हुए स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन रे बा कॉमन बाइल डक्ट रे बा हमर एंजाइम सबु आसे तो सेठी हमर लास्ट एंड हुए हमर स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन रे द प्रोटीन हाइड्रोलाइसिस कॉल्ड द पेप्टाइड्स falls into two categories: initial peptide bond and different last peptide fragments for subsequent attack by other enzymes called the endopeptidase. तो इन द कंटाक्ट ऑफ पेप्सिन कंटाक्ट रे आसिकी तो सेटा सबू हमर फूड रे हमर कन्वर्ट हुए तो कार्बोक्सीपेप्टाइड एंड अमीनो पेप्टाइडेज and initially attack of the intact protein is catalyzed by the intestinal epithelial cells. The hydrolysis of protein in the gastrointestinal tract is completed by proteases secreted in the gastric juice and pancreatic juice in the intestinal mucosa. हमारे last digestion completed in duodenum. Common bile ducts were there. Some of the pancreas here insulins are secreted. Pancreatic enzymes are also there. Amylase lipase were there. It is works on fats and also end part of the proteins. Then some of the biles are also there, and gastric juices are also there. Then as you study, digestion protein starts only in the stomach. Here in table 4.3, protein starts only in the stomach with the help of pepsin and hydrochloric acid. In contrast with carbohydrate and lipid digestion, which is initiated in the mouth with the salivary amylase and lingual lipase. Protein digestion does not begin until the protein reaches the stomach and food is acidified in the gastric hydrochloric acid. Here in this book mentioned here, that carbohydrates started from our mouth due to the presence of tylen and mucin are there, enzymes are there. If the carbohydrate digestion started through our mouth with the help of salivary glands, then the protein digestions are completely started in not in our mouth, it started in stomach due to the food is acidified with the gastric hydrochloric acid. When it will it will attached with hydrochloric acid or acidification of foods, then it will start digestion in stomach only. କାରଣ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମର କାର୍ବୋହାଇଡ୍ରେଟଟା ଟାଇଲେନ୍ ମ୍ୟୁସିନ୍ ବା ପାଟି ଲାଳରୁ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହୁଏ, କିନ୍ତୁ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ଟା ଏତେ ହାର୍ଡ ଆଉ ଏତେ ଲଙ୍ଗ ଟର୍ମ ଡାଇଜେସନରେ ଲଗାଏ, ତେଣୁକରି ସେ ଏସିଡିଫାଏ ମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଫୁଡଟା ଏସିଡିଫିକେସନ ହୁଏ ବା ଗ୍ୟାଷ୍ଟ୍ରିକ୍ ଜୁସ୍ ବା ହାଇଡ୍ରୋକ୍ଲୋରିକ୍ ଏସିଡ୍ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟରେ ଆସିଲା ପରେ ଯାଇକି ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ଟା ଡାଇଜେସନ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହୁଏ। କାରଣ ତାର ବଣ୍ଡ ଏତେ ଆମିନୋ ଏସିଡ୍ର ଷ୍ଟ୍ରଙ୍ଗ ମାନେ ବଣ୍ଡ ଥାଏ, ତ ସେଇଟାକୁ ସହଜରେ ଅଲଗା କେହି ଡାଇଜେସନ କରିପାରନ୍ତିନି। ସେ ଓନ୍ଲି ହାଇଡ୍ରୋକ୍ଲୋରିକ୍ ଏସିଡ୍ বা এসিডিফিক মানে নেচରରେ ହିଁ ସେଟା ଡାଇଜେସନ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ ହୁଏ। ଦେନ୍ let gastric digestion. If gastric hydrochloric production is low and not adequate to maintain the pH of the stomach content between 2 to 3, 2 to 3 is the pH level of stomach, କାରଣ ସେଟା ବହୁତ acidic, ସେଟା ବହୁତ ପେଟଟା ପୁରା fully acidic ମାନେ acid ହିଁ ବହୁତ ଥାଏ, ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ତାର pH value is 2 to and 3। ତ ସେଇ ଯେଉଁ ଏସିଡିକ୍ ର ନେଚର ଅଛି, ତ ସେଇଠି ହିଁ ଆମର ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ଟା ଡାଇଜେସନ୍ ହେବ। ତ pH ର ଷ୍ଟୋମାକ୍ର pH ଭ୍ୟାଲୁ ହେଲା 2 to 3, 2 and 3। protein digestion in the mouth may be negligible, very negligible, or no, we will say. This will happen in the alcohydria, a condition characterized by the failure of the in-gastric pH to fall less than 4. Fall less than 4. ଯେତେବେଳେ pH, when the pH level will be 2 to 3, then the protein digestion is impossible. When the pH level is more than 3, more than 4, it is less gastric in reason. That's why it is not possible to digestion of proteins in the not it is not completely digest the protein well due to the low pH value of the stomach. Stomach ର pH value ଯେତେବେଳେ acidic ର ଯେମିତି ରହିବା କଥା 2 to 3 ଭିତରେ ରହିଲେ ତ ଭଲ ଡାଇଜେସନ ହୁଏ। ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେଇଟା କମିକି ମାନେ 4 ଆଗକୁ ଆସେ, less than 4 falls or less than 4, pH to fall or less than 4 ହୁଏ, ଯେତେବେଳେ gastric ମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମର acidic nature ବହୁତ ଦରକାର ସେଟା କମିଲେ, ତ ସେଇଠି ଆମର protein digestion ଟା ଭଲ ହୁଏନି। Then absence of gastric juices partially or complete or pernicious anemia, the HCl serves several function in gastric digestion. ଯେତେବେଳେ pernicious anemia ଗୋଟେ ହୁଏ, ଯେଉଁଥିରେ ଆମର ଭିଟାମିନ୍ B12 ଏଟା ଡେଫିସିଏନ୍ସି ହୁଏ, ତ ସେଇ ସବୁ କେସେସରେ ଆମର ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ ଡାଇଜେସନ୍ ଭଲ ହୁଏନି। ତ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ ଡାଇଜେସନ୍ ଭଲ ନହେଲେ ସେଟା ହେମୋଗ୍ଲୋବିନ୍ ଲେଭେଲ୍ ଆଉ ଆଇରନ୍ ଏଇସବୁ ଜିନିଷଟା ବଢ଼ାଏନି, ତ ସେଇ ଜାଗାରେ ଆମର pH level ଏପଟ ସେପଟ ହୁଏ। So hydrochloric acid serves several functions in gastric digestion. It acidifies the indigested food, killing potential pathogenic organization, and not all pathogens are killed. If it acidifies the ingested food, killing potential pathogenic organism, all pathogens are killed. Some are acid resistant or plentiful of the foods that the amount of gastric acidification is insufficient to kill all the pathogens. So ଯେତେ ସବୁ pathogens are present in the stomach, present in the food, after fermentations, then acidic nature ନହେଲେ ସେଇଠି ସେତିକି pathogenକୁ destroy କରିହେବନି ବା kill of all the pathogens. Then the proteolytic enzymes present in the gastric juice named as pepsin, endopeptidase, and eat hydrolyzed peptide bond in the interior of the protein molecule. The proteolytic enzymes টা gastric juice ରେ ଆମର present है, it is present in gastric juice. It is help in protein digestion. Pepsin has a strong clotting action, ଆଉ pepsin ର କାମ ହେଲା it works on milk proteins. Milk proteins ଟାକୁ curdling form ରେ ସେ convert କରେ। So pepsin has a strong clotting action on milk. It works on milk only, pepsin enzyme. This factor is important in the digestion of milk protein in infants. तो infants ମାନଙ୍କର जो खाली milk dependent है कि जो 6 months ରୁହନ୍ତି ବା infants ମାନେ ବେଶୀ milk ନିଅନ୍ତି, ତ तो सेमानकर पेप्सिन पाइंकी से मिल्क प्रोटीन टा डाइजेशन हेगी तार ये हो जाए मिल्क प्रोटीन टा डाइजेशन हुए द ऑप्टिमम pH of pepsin action is about 2 only 2 more acidic in nature. Actually pepsin is not a single enzyme, it contains a pepsin A which attack peptide bonds involving phenylalanine or trypsin and several other enzymes which are specific attack points. Then pepsin are released into the gastric cavity as pepsinogen when the food entering the stomach stimulate hydrochloric acid. When the proteinous food entering the stomach stimulates the hydrochloric acid to release the hydrochloric acid for digestion, and the pH of the gastric content fall below 2. ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ଫୁଡ୍ ଯାଇକି ଆମର ଷ୍ଟୋମାକରେ ପହଞ୍ଚିଲା ପରେ ସେ ଏସିଏଲ୍ଟା ପୁରା ଷ୍ଟିମୁଲେଟ୍ ହେଇକି ଯେତେବେଳେ ଏସିଏଲ୍ଟା ତାର କାମ କରିବା ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟ କରେ when it starts working for digestion of protein ସେତେବେଳେ the pH level will falls below 2. 2 ହେଲା ମାନେ ବହୁତ ଏସିଡ୍ ମାନେ एसिड नेचर क्रिएट हुए जहाँ फल कि प्रोटीन टा डाइजेशन हुए एंड पेप्सिनोजेन लूजेंस द 44 अमीनो एसिड सीक्वेंस तो पेप्सिनोजेन लूजेस द 44 अमीनो एसिड सीक्वेंस टा को चेंज हुए तो एक्टिवेशन ऑफ द पेप्सिन्स फ्रॉम पेप्सिनोजेन ऑकर्स by one of the two processes auto activations and auto catalysis. तो सेटा कौन हुए ना the first one is called auto activation and occurs when the pH drops below 5. ଯେତେବେଳେ when the pH drops 5 pH value drops reduced to 5, it is known as auto activations. At low pH the bond between the 44th and 45th amino acid residue fall apart and 44 amino acid residue is liberated or excreted. The liberated residue act as the inhibitor of the pepsin by binding the catalytic site of pH value of 2. से हिसाब रे हमर pH वैल्यू टा रिडक्शन रिड्यूस है कि 2 को गले जाय कि प्रोटीन रो डाइजेशन हुए सेति पई कि से ऑटो एक्टिवेशन देखेला एति कि ऑटो एक्टिवेशन हला तो सेति बेले 45 रु माने बिलो 5 को से पळेबो तार pH टा तापर डाइटरी प्रोटीन हला पेप्सिन और पॉलीपेप्टाइड्स रे कन्वर्ट होबो. Then proteolysis in the intestine. The main digestion of polypeptides produced in the stomach takes place in the intestine by small intestine. The cholecystokinin stimulates both the exocrine pancreas and intestine mucosal epithelial cells to release the digestive enzymes. When the process the protein digestion going on, then after stomach then it will stimulate the pancreas exocrine pancreas and intestinal mucosal cell walls to release digestive enzyme for digestion of protein. Last digestion of protein it completed in small intestine. Then digestions are trypsin, chymotrypsin and carboxypeptidase formed. Secreted is pancreatic juice in aminopeptidase present in the intestinal mucosa. The intestinal cell releases an enzyme, entropeptidase and enterokinase, which serves to activate the protease trypsin released in trypsin by exocrine pancreas. The trypsin not only act thus activating them, are these are the trypsin, chymotrypsin and elastase are the endoprotease having specificity of particular peptide bonds. Trypsin and chymotrypsin act as pH 7.4 to 8.0. After digestion, after enzyme act, then the pH will be 7.4 to 8.0 after peptide bonds. Then trypsin hydrolysis, mainly peptide linkage containing trypsin and phenylalanine. The proteins and polypeptides trypsin and chymotrypsin, peptides plus amino acid. After digestion of protein completed, then the pH level will when it will comes when the digestion when after digestion in stomach when the digestion in stomach was completed protein digestion in stomach completed pH level will be less than 2. Then after when will reach in small intestine for last digestion of the protein, then it's the after peptide formation its pH balance will 7.4 to 8.0 as neutral form. In normal form of the normal pH value, then trypsin hydrolysis, mainly peptide linkage containing triosine and phenolene. Then what are the thus the ultimate products of digestion of protein, namely as amino acids, are liberated from these chains one by one and absorbed and appear in the portal blood. Then last, the food chimes are absorbed and appear in the portal blood. Peptides are carboxypeptidase or amino acid aminopeptidase. Then dipeptides are dipeptidase and tripeptides are tripeptidase in amino acids. It creates and absorbed into the cell wall and into the portal blood. Then absorption, we will study about absorption. All through the single amino acids are liberated in the intestinal content. These are insufficient power in the enzymes of the pancreatic juice to render all of the amino acids singly for absorption. The cross border of the adjunctive cell therefore not only absorb the single amino acid but also the di and tripeptides. In this process, observing these small peptides in hydrolyzes them into the constituent amino acid. These are specific transport system to use in similar amino acid and peptide form. It has L isomers, neutral isomers of amino acids are more energy. It is observed that L isomers but natural isomers of amino acids are more rapidly absorbed in D amino acids. Here are the absorptions are L isomers, D amino acids. L and D isomers of amino acids are there. After formation, it will absorb in our cell wall and appears in the portal blood. Then, general amino acid compete with one another absorption in several substances carrier as shared. Vitamin C is essential for amino acid absorption and the transport of mechanism work. Then for absorption of amino acid, vitamin C is very much required to absorb the amino acids. That's why we will take with amino acids with proteinous item, we will take vitamin C, vitamin B6. Transport of amino acids, more than one transport or carrier system functions in the absorption of amino acids. The active carrier system of neutral amino acids shares a common membrane carrier. Neutral amino acids and those which are short or polar side chain, threonine, alanine, these are neutral amino acids, are transported by the shared carrier system. Then transport amino acids are, one is active carrier system of neutral amino acids. Then neutral amino acids are these are very short and polar side chain. It is known as threonine, alanine, serine are transported by the shared carrier system. The basic amino acids are lysine, arginine, histidine share a carrier system with histidine. The branch chain amino acids are leucine, isolation and valine. It has the very good quality of branch chain amino acids are there. And these are lysine, arginine and histidine are also a share of carrier system with cysteine, and mechanism of transport and uptake are depicted. Transport of amino acids through our portal blood cells. Then functions. Functions of proteins are bodybuilding and functions of proteins. The primary functions of proteins are amino acid building block that our bodies use to build and maintain muscles, bones, bodybuilding. For example, constant growth of human beings from birth to childhood, back to adulthood. A regular supply of dietary protein is required, and during adulthood, worn out cells, body tissues need replacement. Protein, the functions of proteins is to growth and maintenance of the body, such as bodybuilding. Then to maintain muscles, bones, and also skin, blood, other organs. ମାନେ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ର ଫଙ୍କସନ୍ସ ହେଲା କି ସିଏ ହେଲା ରିପେୟାରମେଣ୍ଟ କରିବା ବା ଆମର କୌଣସି ଜାଗାରେ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ମାନେ ରିକଭରି କରୁନି ବା ସେଟା ଅଧା ଅଛି, तो सेटाकू से पूरा रिकवर बा ताकू मेंटेन करिके रखिबो। तो सेथिपाई कि ताकू कुहा जायछि मेंटेनेंस, ग्रोथ एंड मेंटेनेंस, tissues growth and maintenance ପାଇଁ କି ଆମର functions of the proteins are very much necessary for tissues growth and maintenance। तो maintain କରିବ ଯେତେବେଳେ grown up child, ଗୋଟେ pregnant mother, ଗୋଟେ child, adolescents, in case of accidental cases ଯୋଉଠିକି recovery ହଉନି, growth stops ଅଛି, ତ ସେଇ କେସେସରେ ପ୍ରୋଟିନର ରିକ୍ୱାରମେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ଅଛି। ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି ଆମେ ଗୁଡ୍ ବାୟୋଲୋଜିକାଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ we should take every day। So cell tissues, whole organs cannot exist without protein serving bodybuilding, and we will take lifespan, the body building and maintenance। Protein as an energy, how protein act as an energy? The protein contribute to the body's energy need if diet does not furnish enough calories from the carbohydrate and fats, proteins are catabolized to give energy। 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 kilocalorie, and it also it act as a energy when we will take because protein sources of proteins we will take from cereals, pulses, then some fruits, vegetables, some kinds of fruits, roots and tubers, some, very minutely form, and all kinds of foods we will get some different varieties of protein। ସବୁ ଖାଦ୍ୟ ଭିତରେ ଆମେ କିଛି ନା କିଛି ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ସ ପାଉ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଆମକୁ ସିରିଏଲ୍ସରେ ଆଉ ପଲ୍ସେସ୍ରେ ଆଉ ଆମକୁ ଯେମିତି ନନଭେଜ୍ ସୋର୍ସରେ ଏଇସବୁ ସୋର୍ସେସ୍ରେ ଆମକୁ ଟିକେ ଅଧିକା ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ ମିଳେ, ଆଉ ସବୁଥିରେ ମାଇନରଲି ବା ଟ୍ରେସ୍ ଆମାଉଣ୍ଟର ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ସ ଆମକୁ ମିଳିଯାଏ। ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି ଆମକୁ ଏନର୍ଜିଟା ବେଶୀ ମିଳେ, କାରଣ ଆମକୁ ସିରିଏଲ୍ସ ଆଣ୍ଡ ପଲ୍ସେସ୍ରୁ ଆମକୁ ଯେଉଁ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ସ ଗୁଡ଼ା ସବୁ ମିଳିଯାଉଛି। ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି ସେ କହୁଛି ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ ଆଜ୍ ଆନ୍ ଏନର୍ଜି ସୋର୍ସ। ତ ଆମେ ଯେଉଁ ଏନର୍ଜିଟାକୁ ଖାଉଛୁ, ଏନର୍ଜି ରିଚ୍ ଫୁଡ୍ ବା କ୍ୟାଲୋରି ରିଚ୍ ଫୁଡ୍ ହଉ କି କାର୍ବୋହାଇଡ୍ରେଟ୍ ରିଚ୍ ଫୁଡ୍, ସେଥିରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆମର ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ସର ଇଏ ଅଛି, କାରଣ ସିରିଏଲ୍ସରେ ଆମର କାର୍ବୋହାଇଡ୍ରେଟ୍ ଅଛି, ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ସ ଅଛି, pulsesରେ carbohydrate is also there and protein is also there। That's why protein is act as an energy source। Proteins as enzymes, for third one is for conception of to death, living cells use oxygen and metabolize fuel। Cells synthesize new products, degrade others, and generally are in the state of metabolic flux। For these processes to occur, catalysts are needed to enhance each of the many thousands of reaction occurs in the enzymes, catalytical enzymes। These proteins are used to study it। The many enzymes are complex proteins, and this consists of protein components and apoenzymes and coenzymes are there। Then enzymes consist of specific of amino acids, and without enzyme protein cannot be digested well। That's why protein act as an enzymes also। Then proteins as regulator of water balance, as substrates and solutes are transported or exchanged across membranes, water has tendency to follow the maintain equal osmotic pressure of each of the membrane। The protein as regulator of water balance, the substrates and solutes are transported or exchanged across membranes, water has tendency to follow the maintain osmotic, water will balance the osmotic balance of the water balances the osmotic level of the osmotic pressure of each side of the membrane। That's why it balances, water will balance this the osmotic pressure in the combinations of proteinous food। The water balance across the capillary membranes are carefully controlled and close balance to maintain between the osmotic pressure of the plasma and intestinal fluids are there, and cells and hydrolytic pressure excreted by the pumping action of the heart। So water is very necessary, water is necessary for in every part of the digestion or growth or etc, everywhere water is the in the osmotic balance matters। ମାନେ ପାଣିଟା ଗୋଟେ ଏମିତି ଜିନିଷ କି ସବୁ ପ୍ରକାର ନ୍ୟୁଟ୍ରିଏଣ୍ଟସର ଆବଜର୍ପସନ୍ ହଉ, ଡାଇଜେସନ୍ ହଉ, ଟ୍ରାନ୍ସପୋର୍ଟେଡ୍ ହଉ, ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ପାଇଁ ୱାଟରର ରିକ୍ୱାରମେଣ୍ଟ ଅଛି, କାରଣ ସେଟା ଗୋଟେ ଅସ୍ମୋଟିକ୍ ବାଲାନ୍ସ ଆମର ବଡି ପ୍ଲାଜମା ସେଲ୍ସ ସବୁ ଭିତରେ ଗୋଟେ ଅସ୍ମୋଟିକ୍ ବାଲାନ୍ସ ସେ ରଖେ। ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି ୱିଦାଉଟ୍ ୱାଟର ଆମେ ଡାଇଜେସନ୍ ହେଇପାରିବନି, ଆମର ଆବଜର୍ପସନ୍ ହେଇପାରିବନି, ଆଉ ଟ୍ରାନ୍ସପୋର୍ଟେସନ୍ ମଧ୍ୟ ହେଇପାରେନି। ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି ୱାଟର ଆଜ୍ ଅ ରେଗୁଲେଟର ଅର୍ କ୍ୟାରିୟର ଅଫ୍ ଦ ନ୍ୟୁଟ୍ରିଏଣ୍ଟସ୍, ସେ କୁହାଯାଏ ୱାଟରକୁ ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୟାରିୟର ଅଫ୍ ଦ ନ୍ୟୁଟ୍ରିଏଣ୍ଟସ୍ ଟୁ ଦ ଏଭ୍ରି ବଡି ପାର୍ଟସ୍। ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ ୱାଇ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ସର ଫଙ୍କସନ୍ସରେ ଆସିଲା ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ ଆଜ୍ ରେଗୁଲେଟର୍ସ ଅଫ୍ ୱାଟର ବାଲାନ୍ସ। Then sixth one is protein as biological buffers. Proteins have the ability to accept or donate hydrogen ions, and by doing so they serve as biological buffers. The biological buffers are here. In blood there are important buffering system. Plasma proteins are there, hemoglobin, carbonic acids, bicarbonate. These are the buffers of the in blood. These are the buffering system, such as protein plus hemoglobin and carbonic acids বা bicarbonate of carbonic acid and bicarbonate. Carbonic acid, bicarbonate are there, plasma proteins are there, hemoglobins are there. These are not the buffers of the buffering systems of the proteins. Then proteins are act as the biological buffers also. Then blood pH, this is not as the important in two system. The second buffering system is carbonic acid carbonate. Carbonic acid bicarbonate is extremely effective because these are reaction which follow with equilibrium with the regulate either acids or bases. Either it reacts on acids or bases. That's why it is the very good equilibriums are very good buffering systems are carbonic acid bicarbonate. Then last one is protein as structural elements and structural units. The liver cell membranes analysis shows that the membrane contains 50 to 60% protein. Then liver cell membranes analysis shows that these liver cell membranes contain more proteins, such as 50 to 60% of protein, and 35% lipids are there, 5% carbohydrates are there. The carbohydrate present is joined primarily to the protein forming glycoproteins compound which constitute the receptor sites of the several hormones. The structural elements and structural units केमती होची ना तो liver cell गोटे माने analysis रो देखा है 50 to 60% proteins are there, 35% fats are there, and 5% carbohydrates are there. These are called the structural elements or units of the proteins. तो सब जगह सेमती हाइड्रोफिलिक एस्पेक्ट्स protein molecules are interfaced with the lipid, and then both structural stability and ताମାନେ ସବୁଠୁ ବେଶୀ structural ability କାହାର ରହିଲା ନା protein ର, because it contains 50 to 60% proteins. ତ ସବୁ ଜାଗାରେ ଯୋଉ structural unit ଭିତରେ ତ ଆମର ସବୁଠୁ ଭଲ ବଣ୍ଡ ରହେ ବା ଭଲ ଯୋଉଟା ଆମର ବଣ୍ଡିଂ ରହେ, ତ ସେଇଟା ହେଲା ଆମର ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚରାଲ ବଣ୍ଡିଂ ଯୋଉଟା ରହିଲା ସେଟା ହେଲା ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍। ସବୁ ଯେତେ ଅର୍ଗାନ୍ସ ଯେତେ ପାର୍ଟସ୍ ଯେତେ ସେଲ୍ ଏଇସବୁ ଜିନିଷରେ ବେଶୀ ଭଲ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚରାଲ ବଣ୍ଡସ୍ ବା ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚରାଲ ୟୁନିଟ୍ସ ଆର୍ ମୋର୍ ଆର୍ ଗ୍ରେଟର ଅଫ୍ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ ଦାନ୍ ଅଦର ନ୍ୟୁଟ୍ରିଏଣ୍ଟସ୍। ଯେମିତି ଲିପିଡ୍ସ 35% ରହିଲା ଆଉ 5% ଗ୍ଲାଇକୋ କାର୍ବୋହାଇଡ୍ରେଟ୍ ରହିଲା, ତ 50 to 60% ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ ରହିଲା। ବିଲ୍ଡିଂ ବ୍ଲକ୍ ଅଫ୍ ବଡି, ତ ବିଲ୍ଡିଂ ବ୍ଲକ୍ ଅଫ୍ ସେଲ୍ସ, ତ ସବୁର ବିଲ୍ଡିଂ ବ୍ଲକ୍ରେ ଭଲ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଚରାଲ ୟୁନିଟ୍ ରହୁଛି ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ର। ସେଥିପାଇଁ 7ଟା ପଏଣ୍ଟ ଏଥିରେ ରହିଲା। ଫଙ୍କସନାଲ functions of proteins are there, 7 points are there. Then 8 points are proteins as lubricants. The mucus of the respiratory tract, oral cavity, vaginal tract, and rectal cavity reduces the irritations which might be caused by material moving through these passages. This mucus is a mucoproteins. This is known as where the mucosal secretions were there. These are known as mucoproteins. This mucus contains proteins. A conjugated proteins which contain hexosamine. Proteins as lubricants also surrounds the joints and facilitates their movement. The absence of these lubricants or substantial decrease in their fluidity through depositions of minerals makes skeletal movement difficult and painful. Proteins act as a lubricant. जोठी भी हमरो mucosal secretions ରୁହେ ଯେମିତି saliva ଗୋଟେ saliva ରୁହେ then vaginal tract ରେ ରୁହେ rectal cavity ରେ ରୁହେ ତ oral cavity ଯୋଉଟା salivary କହିଲି ତ respiratory tract ରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ରୁହେ ଯୋଉଟା cough mucus ଏଟା ହୁଏ ତ ଯେତେ ସବୁ mucosal secretion ଅଛି these all contains protein known as mucoproteins. So mucoproteins also present in both joints. It also resides in both the joints, in between both joints to lubrications of the bones. Bones को lubricate କରିବା ପାଇଁ ବା bones ର movements ପାଇଁ ଗୋଟେ oil ଥାଏ mucosal ଇଏ synovial fluids କୁହାଯାଏ. It is known as synovial fluids. So ସେଇଟା ଯେତେବେଳେ protein deficiency ରୁହେ synovials ଟା dry up ହେଇଯାଏ ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି mucoprotein ତାକୁ କୁହାଯାଏ. So it also acts as a lubricant protein. Then the last point is proteins in the immune systems. How it develops our immune system. How protein develops our immune systems or supports our immune systems. Can be supports करे. Proteins such as globulins serves to protect the body against foreign cells. Immunoglobulins produced by lymphocytes are the last polypeptides having more than one basic monomeric units. More than monomers but poly units are there. These proteins differs in the amino acid structure, which in turn affect their secondary, tertiary, and quaternary structures. we have already we have already studies that the structural units is the structural units is more strong than other nutrients. In the structural bonding ଟା structural unit ଟା ସବୁଠୁ ବହୁତ ଅଧିକା ଥାଏ protein ର in comparison to other nutrients carbohydrate fats ଠାରୁ ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି ଆମର immunity କୁ ମଧ୍ୟ ସେ strong କରେ କାରଣ ତାର ସେତେ ୟୁନିଟ୍ ଟା ବହୁତ ଅଧିକା ଥାଏ more than 1 unit ବା poly units ଥାଏ ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି तुमको इम्यूनी सिस्टम को स्ट्रेंथ कराए सीक्वेंस ऑफ इम्यूनोप्रोटीन एंटीजेंस एंटीबॉडीज स्पेसिफिसिटी and synthesis of particular immunoglobulins by the lymphocytes require the binding of the antigens to the cell surface at particular location called antigen receptors. Then immunoglobulin synthesize bind and the foreign proteins immunize it. Thus the complex antigen antibody is formed when we are already antigens is formed. The complex antigen antibody is formed. The antibodies and antigens जोटा formation कराए तो सेतबले हमको immune system पे हमको support कराए कहीं ना तारा कौन structural bond and structural units are more than other nutrients सेतिपाई कि it is a very good act it very acts in immune system which supports our immune system etc. 9 points are there. Methods of determination of proteins and amino acid contents in food. What are the methods of determination of proteins and amino acid contents in food? One is analytical methods for the determination of nitrogen and amino acids in the food. First, we will analyze is that the determination of nitrogen and amino acids in the food. Which food contains more amino acids or nitrogen rich food? Then chemical and microbiological assess of protein quality. Then chemical and microbiology of protein quality we will calculate. Then evaluate the protein quality in experimental animals. We will take animals blood serums or etc. Then we will evaluate the protein quality. Then sorry, it is the evaluation of protein quality means proteinous food when we will take which kind of proteins we will evaluate. Then in clinical method of evaluation of protein quality we will take blood serums etc. Four types of determination of proteins are there. How we will analyze the protein quality in our food in clinical methods, in evaluatory method of the food, then chemical and microbiological assess of protein quality, then determination of nitrogen and amino acids present in the food. Four types of determinations are there. One is quantitative and analytical method of estimation of nitrogen and protein. Analytical method of estimation of nitrogens are we will nitrogen in food not only comes from the amino acids in the protein, additional form may be used, and thus determination of nitrogen is commonly used to determine the protein content of the sample. We will take what kind of food we will take every day, such as cereals, pulses, etc., or veg items, non-veg items, etc. We will take, and we will calculate, and we will study how much nitrogen contain, how much nitrogen amounts are present in that food we will consume every day. ସବୁଦିନ ଆମେ ଯେଉଁ ଖାଇବା ଖାଉଛୁ ତ ସେଥିରେ ନାଇଟ୍ରୋଜେନ୍ ଆମାଉଣ୍ଟ କେତେ ରହୁଛି, ତ ସବୁ ପ୍ରକାର ଫୁଡ଼ରୁ ଆମେ ସେଟା ଇଭାଲୁଏଟ୍ କରିପାରିବା. ଦେନ୍ it is determined by the Gesdal procedure. One of the procedure is known as Gesdal procedure. It is converted to crude protein by factor of 6.2 as mentioned earlier. It has one given one formula to calculate the nitrogen presence in the food. Then nitrogen into 6.25. It is recommended that one factor is used to nutritional studies in which whole diets contain more than one sources to nitrogen. Then book are also there to calculate the nitrogen level in the food. Food भी अच्छी प्लस ଆପଣ calculation କରିବେ ଯେମିତି कि nitrogen into 6.25 unit ରେ ପକେଇକି. Then the Gesell method is commonly used to estimate the protein content of the food and been extensively used to protein estimation of various food stock. Various food stock you will calculate the protein or nitrogen contents, protein contents of the food or estimated food stock all throughout the food. Many times methods have emerged of the determination of organic nitrogen. Then and this is quantitative analytic method of estimation. We will calculate how much nitrogen or how much protein in the food we will consume every day. Then qualitative estimation of protein amino acid contents in the food. We will qualitative we will take growth and body weight changes. Then protein efficiency ratio is there, PER. Then we will net protein ratio, NPR, gross protein value. Then repletion method, nitrogen growth index, slope ratio methods. In qualitative, we will follow lots of steps. Okay. In quantitative, we will put one formula and get the answer. Then in qualitative stage, then we will follow some of the steps such as growth weight changes. We will look after the protein efficiency ratios, etc. Then in second, carcass nitrogen analysis there, nitrogen retention methods are there, net protein NPU methods are there, reflection methods are there. Then third, nitrogen balance, digestibility coefficient, biological value, and net utilization of dietary protein. It is utilized after ingestion. It is utilized in your body or not. We will follow. Then nitrogen balance index, egg replacement method there. Then fourth, regeneration of blood and liver constituent includes liver protein regenerations, blood protein regeneration, regeneration of liver enzymes. Liver enzymes are very much important for digestion of and absorption of protein. Then availability amino acids includes chemical method, enzymic methods, microbiological method, and animal acids are there. Miscellaneous are plasma amino acids levels. These are the steps we will follow while estimation of qualitative methods. Then we will check the quality by following this type of steps. Then in qualitative method, first one is growth and body weight changes. We will estimate the protein efficiency ratio. What is protein efficiency ratio? PER method. PER method was developed by Osborne, Mendel, and Ferry in 1919. 1919 was developed by Osborne, Mendel, and Ferry about the protein efficiency ratio. Is based on the growth of young rats. The experts were taking rats in their examination for protein efficiency ratio. Then the diet usually contains 10% of dietary protein to be tested and complete in all other dietary essentials. Group of albino rats 21 days old are fed for a period of 4 to different rats. They will take rats and they feed the rats of the proteinous food and they observe about that weight. First one is growth ratio, growth and body weight. तामाने प्रोटीन एफिशिएंसी रेशियो हला जेतेबेले एक्सपर्ट्स माने ସେମାନେ 21 ଆଲବିନୋ ରାଟ୍ସକୁ ନେଲେ ଆଉ ତାଙ୍କୁ 4 ୱିକ୍ସ ଯାଏଁ ପ୍ରୋଟିନିୟସ୍ ଫୁଡ୍ କୁ ଦେଲେ। ତ ଦେଲା ପରେ କ'ଣ ହେଲା ନା ତାପରେ ସେମାନେ ଅବଜର୍ଭ କଲେ କି records of the gain in the body weight and protein intake of the rat are maintained। तो ସେମାନେ ତାପରେ ରେକର୍ଡ କଲେ gain of the body after 4 weeks feeding କଲା ପରେ then they record ବା maintained one chart of weight gaining chart were maintained, then weight and protein intake of the rat are mentioned, how much they were fed to the rats for 4 weeks, how much quantity, and also they mention the weight chart, feed chart and weight chart। माने 4 सप्ताह जाक से माने 21 रैट्स को फीडिंग करेले 4 सप्ताह केते फीडिंग करेले और केते वेट गेन कला। तो दिस प्रोटीन एफिशिएंसी रेशियो इज कैलकुलेटेड फॉलोइंग फार्मूला is gain in body weight divided by protein intake। They will invent one formula, gain in body weight divided by protein intake per gram is equal to gain in weight per gram of protein consumed। How much protein they will consumed in gram and gain in body weight divided by protein intake, PER। Then PER measurement of the efficient utilization of the protein in the body। Its meaning is PER meaning is measurement the efficient utilization of protein in the body, means whatever protein we will take, it is either utilized or non-utilized in the body is known as protein efficiency ratio। Then digestibility coefficient, when an animal is fed on nitrogen free diet, certain amount of nitrogen excreted in the feces। When an animal is fed on nitrogen free diet means vegetarian diets, certain amount of nitrogen excreted in the fishes। से defecation time रे किछि गोटे nitrogen रो excrete हुए। This is derived mainly from the digestive juices, it is known as endogenous fecal nitrogen। When a protein food is given, the nitrogen found in feces contains both of endogenous nitrogen and food lost in digestion, find out the lost in then it also invented one formula for nitrogen absorption, is known as 100 into nitrogen intake, whatever kind of nitrogen food you are taking, nitrogen intake minus nitrogen in feces, in stool how much nitrogen is excreted minus endogenous fecal nitrogen, then divided by nitrogen intake per day in gram। Then it will take the nitrogen lost in digestion, where FN and Fe is the food nitrogen lost in the, here the formula is given, formula is given, we will put the values and then we will get the answer how much nitrogen lost in digestion। Then what is biological value? The method of determining the biological value of protein was developed by Mitchell in 1925। It measures the quantity of dietary protein utilized by the animal for meeting its protein needs for maintenance and growth। What is biological value? Biological value means when we will taking one kind of ingest one type of proteins, it is utilized by the animals for meeting its protein need for maintenance and growth। When it will utilize, when it will, after digestion it will absorption in our body and it will utilized as growth and maintenance। ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ କିଛି ପ୍ରୋଟିନିୟସ୍ ଫୁଡ୍ ନେଉଛୁ, ଯଦି ସେଟା ଡାଇଜେସନ୍ ହେଲା ପରେ ସେଟା ଯଦି ଆମର ବଡିରେ ଗ୍ରୋଥ ଆଣ୍ଡ ରିପେୟାରମେଣ୍ଟ ବା ମେଣ୍ଟେନାନ୍ସରେ କାମରେ ଲାଗିଲା, ବା ଆମର ଯେତିକି ୱେଟ୍ ରହିବା କଥା ହାଇଟ୍ ଅନୁସାରେ ଆମର ସେତିକି ୱେଟ୍ ରହିଲା, ନଟ୍ ଲେସ୍ ଦେନ୍ ଆୱାର ବଡି ଆକର୍ଡିଂ ଟୁ ଆୱାର ଏଜ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ହାଇଟ୍, ଯଦି ହାଇଟ୍ ଆଉ ୱେଟ୍ ଅନୁସାରେ ଆମର ସେଇ ୱେଟ୍ଟା ମାନେ ବାଲାନ୍ସ ହେଲାନି, ସରି ହାଇଟ୍ ଆଉ ଆମର ଏଜ୍ ଅନୁସାରେ ଯଦି ସେତିକି ୱେଟ୍ ଆମର ଠିକ୍ ନ ରହିଲା, ତେବେ ସେଟା ୟୁଟିଲାଇଜ୍ ହେଉନି ବୋଲି ଜାଣିବା। ଯଦି ୟୁଟିଲାଇଜ୍ ହେଲା ପରେ ଆମର ବଡିର ସେତିକି ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ, ସେତିକି ମେଣ୍ଟେନାନ୍ସ, ସେତିକି ଗ୍ରୋଥ୍ ଆମର ହେଲା, then this foods contains good biological value of protein, जोटा कि बॉडी रे यूटिलाइज हे करूची, ताकू कहंती biological value। जोटा कि यूटिलाइज हो पारिबो फॉर ग्रोथ एंड मेंटेनेंस ପାଇଁ କି इट इज नोन एज बायोलॉजिकल वैल्यू तार फार्मूला देछि नाइट्रोजन डाइजेस्टेड आफ्टर इंजेक्शन ऑफ फूड आफ्टर टेकिंग ऑफ फूड then nitrogen digestion then nitrogen lost in metabolism when it started metabolism some of the nitrogen are lost divided by digestion nitrogen digested into 100 the formula biological value and high biological value foods are whole egg 93.7 it is very good quality protein whole egg then milk 84.5 fish 76.0 beef 74.3 soybean 72 good biological value protein is whole egg 93.7 then we will study then we will study net protein utilization net protein utilization NPU it is Mitchell 1922 introduced the term net utilization of dietary protein which is the product of digestibility coefficient and biological value derived by 100 as shown here. Net protein utilization means after ingestion of protein, after taking of protein, good biological value protein, how it is utilized in our body to to balance our to maintenance and growth is known as NPU. Then net protein utilization is NPU. Here one of the formula is there. Then net protein ratio. The net this method is introduced by Bender and Doyle 1957 and is modification of PER method protein energy replacement method. This method an allowances is made for the protein requirement for maintenance. This is the method is made for protein requirement for maintenance. Which kind of persons request more protein such as grown up child, pregnant mother, adolescent girls they request more proteins than others. Then this is known as net protein ratio. The method consisting of this method allowances is made to protein requirements for maintenance. This method consists of feeding a group of weanling rats to a diet containing 10% of the test protein and another comparable control group. Then they will feed 10 rats and they observe that whether their protein requirements are utilized or not. Then what are chemical scores? Chemical scores of protein is very important. How we will choose a good biological value protein when you calculate the chemical score of the protein ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆପଣ chemical score କୁ calculation କରିବେ କୋଉ protein ର chemical score କେତେ ଭଲ ଅଛି ତ ଆପଣ ସେଟାକୁ suggest ମାନେ ଆପଣ ତାକୁ fix କରିପାରିବେ as it contains good biological value protein ତେବେ ତାକୁ ଆପଣ estimate କରିପାରିବେ କି it contains very good biological value protein तो ସେଥିପାଇଁ कि हमको we have to calculate chemical score. Then since egg proteins contain all essential we have already we are also already study in the egg proteins contain all essential amino acids in previous class रे हमें पढ़िथिलु कि all kind of essential amino acids जोटा कि बॉडी प्रोडक्शन करि पारे ना हमें ताको फूड थ्रू रो नो तो सेटा सबु जाका एसेंशियल अमीनो एसिड्स हमर अछि बॉइल्ड एग रे तो हमें एक टाको नै परिबा ऑल एसेंशियल अमीनो एसिड एडिक्वेट अमाउंट्स and possesses the highest nutritive value among dietary protein जत्ते dietary protein अछि biological value protein हमर आसी जाउची एग रे तो सेति पय कि ଆମର କ'ଣ ହେଉଛି ନା since the nutritive value of the protein depends on the essential amino acids dietary proteins chemical score is the ratio between the content of the most limiting amino acids in the test protein to the content of the same amino acids in the reference protein egg proteins expressed as percentage chemical score is the ratio between the content of the two limiting amino acids in the trace protein of the content and the amino acids in the reference protein egg protein is expressed. One of the egg is the very good biological value protein. That's why one of the chart were there of the egg amino acid or nitrogen balance charts were there. We will take the value of the reference value and then we will take the amino acids in the test protein in the content of the both both reference value we will take. Then we will calculate the chemical scores. Chemical score of protein is milk protein is 65 and those gelatin and 0. Gelatin are the incomplete proteins we have already studied in our previous class. Then gelatin contains incomplete protein and milk protein is complete protein. It chemical score is 65 and gelatin chemical score is 0. Then chemical score formula is amino acids 1 gram of test protein. We will take the reference value of the ଆମର ଗୋଟେ ବହି ଅଛି ଯୋଉଥିରେ କି ଫୁଡ୍ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁର ରେଫରେନ୍ସ ଲେବଲ୍ ସବୁ ଅଛି। ତ ସେଇଥିରେ ଆପଣ ଦେଖିବେ କି 1 ଗ୍ରାମ ଅଫ୍ ଟେଷ୍ଟ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ amino acid ର କେତେ ଆସିଲା। ଦେନ୍ amino acids in 1 gram of reference protein जोटा egg रो जो reference protein ଟା ଦେଇଥିବ ସେଟା କେତେ into 100 ସେଟା ହେଇଗଲେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର chemical scores we will get the chemical scores of the food proteinous food food stops ଯେତେ ସବୁ ଖାଇବାର ଆମେ ଯୋଉ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ ଖାଇବା ବୋଲି ତାକୁ କହୁଛୁ କେଟା ଠିକ୍ ବୋଲି ତ ଆମେ ଦି ପ୍ରକାର ରେଫରେନ୍ସ ର ଲେବଲ୍ ନେଇକି ଇଣ୍ଟୁ 100 କରିଦେଲେ କେମିକାଲ ସ୍କୋର ଆସିଲା। ଯାହାର ଗୁଡ୍ କେମିକାଲ ସ୍କୋର୍ସର ଅଧିକା ଥିବ ତ ଆମେ ସେଇ ଅନୁସାରେ ସେଇ ଫୁଡଟାକୁ ହାଇ ବାୟୋଲୋଜିକାଲ ଭ୍ୟାଲୁ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ ବୋଲି ସଜେଷ୍ଟ କରିବା। ଦେନ୍ ଏଇଟା ଆମେ ସବୁ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିକାଲ ଆମର ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି MFN-004 ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆପଣ ସେ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିକାଲ ରେକର୍ଡସକୁ କରିବେ ସେତେବେଳେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଫଣ୍ଡା କ୍ଲିୟର ହେଇଯିବ। How we will calculate chemical score, net protein ratio, efficient PER, NPU, etc. are in your practical MFN-004 when we will go through the MFN-004, then your funda will be clear. It has the formula here and we will it is the fundamental but basic knowledge is here, but when we will go through the practicals then it will fundamental clear. Then protein energy ratio is NDP calorie percentage. After calculating the chemical score we will calculate protein energy ratio. We will calculate the protein as well as energy ratio also. In egg contain not only proteins, it also contains some energy, some fats, then some proteins also. Then it is known as protein energy ratio calculation. Means we will take the chemical score of the protein scores, then we will calculate the carbohydrate source, the protein energy calculation. NDP calorie percentage is protein calories in the diet. Whatever food we will take, such as lentils, we will take the lentils or black gram dal. Then we will calculate. We will the protein calories in the diet. How much calories in the diet? Then how much protein in the black gram? Then divided by total calories into net protein unit we have to calculate into 100. We will take the energy protein ratio percentage. Then at last we will take into NPU into 100 means chemical score into 100 we will take the NDPCL calculation ratio. Improvement the quality of protein in the diet. How will you implement the protein in the diet? One is dietary protein requirement. Step level of intake of energy or milk protein into net protein unit of milk or egg protein. Whatever will take as a sample, such as milk or egg, we will take one sample. Then step level of intake of egg or milk protein into net protein unit of the any of the protein divided by net protein unit of dietary protein. It is the formula we will take. When we will put the formula, then we will get the answer how much improvement of quality of protein in the diet, whether we will take low quality protein or high quality protein. Then we will study mutual supplementation improvement of cereal proteins. Cereals in general are limiting in lysine and threonine, while legumes, milk, meat, fish are good sources of amino acids. So cereals proteins in cereals in cereals, not only the carbohydrates are present in the cereals products, it contains both good fats, proteins, carbohydrates, etc. are there. Improvement of cereal proteins in cereals in general are limiting in lysine and threonine, two of the amino acids, are very limiting in cereals proteins. Then while legumes, milk, meat, fish are good sources of amino acids. Hence, the proteins of legumes, milk, meat, fish, especially cereals proteins. Thus, improve the cereal proteins. तो जो किछिटा cereals अच्छी जो थे कि जो cereals जोटा हमरो राइस व्हीट सेमोलिना एक्सेट्रा cereals तो cereals रे हमरो बहुत भल अमीनो एसिड लाइसिन एंड थ्योरिन बहुत लिमिटेड अमाउंट रे थाए किंतु legumes रे जोटा सो हमरो डाली जातीय जिंस रहला आ मिल्क मीट फिश आर गुड सोर्सेस ऑफ अमीनो एसिड तो लिग्यूम्स गोटे टाइप सीरियल्स किंतु ताधरे गुड क्वालिटी अमीनो एसिड्स रोचे आउ किछटा सीरियल्स रोचे जोटा कि लिग्यूम्स माने डाली को छाडी देला आउ सब सीरियल्स सेतरे लिमिटेड अमाउंट ऑफ अमीनो एसिड्स अछि तो आमे जदि ताको इंप्रूवमेंट करबा कोन करबा ना आमे चावल देहरे किछ डाली मिसे दन खिचड़ी बनांती तो चावल देहरे टिक डाली मिसे देले तो सीरियल्स को इंप्रूवमेंट ऑफ सीरियल प्रोटीन्स का इंप्रूव हबो Our soybean and sesame proteins. Soybean's proteins are good sources of lysine but are deficient in methionine. तो सल्फर कंटेनिंग अमीनो एसिड्स टा सोयाबीन रे बहुत कम थाए तो सोयाबीन रे जो सोर्सेस ऑफ लाइसेंस अच्छी देन मिथेनिन इज वेरी लोएस्ट इन सोयाबीन तो व्हेन वे तापर वेल सिस्मे प्रोटीन्स आर वेरी सोर्सेस ऑफ मिथेनिन जोटा हम राशि रहउची सिस्मे तो it contains good quality of sulfur based amino acid by methionine but are deficient in lysine तो से लाइसिन तादर डेफिशिएंसी अच्छी तो hence the proteins are sesame supplements separate to those of soybean तेणुकरी सब सीरियल्स ये म्यूचुअल सप्लीमेंटेशन माने आम मिक्स करके नहीं पारिबा तो जो गोटे अमीनो एसिड रो माने कम रोचे आउ गोटे अमीनो एसिड रोचे आउ गोटे अमीनो एसिड कम रोचे जमती आम सीरियल आ पल्सेस को मर्ज करदबा बा ताको कंबाइन करके गोटे खिचड़ी बनैदबा तो आमको बोथ अमीनो एसिड्स वी विल गेट फ्रॉम बोथ सीरियल्स एंड लिग्यूम्स तो बोथ लिग्यूम्स रो हमें सब प्रकार अमीनो एसिड मिक्स करके जान नहीं गलु सोयाबीन रे जोटा अछि सेसमे सीड रे सेटा नहीं तो सोयाबीन सेसमे सीड्स जदि हमें नौचे तबे हमको बोथ अमीनो एसिड्स विल गेट फ्रॉम दिस काइंड्स ऑफ फ्रूट्स द इंप्रूवमेंट ऑफ सीरियल डाइट्स विद लिग्यूम्स एंड मिल्क प्रोटीन्स तो से कहला इंप्रूवमेंट ऑफ सीरियल डाइट्स विद लिग्यूम्स एंड मिल्क प्रोटीन द प्रोटीन्स ऑफ पुअर डाइट बेस्ड ऑन डिफरेंट सीरियल्स are limiting in lysine and threonine and their quality can be improved incorporation of legumes soybean or milk protein in the diet तो improvement cereal diets with legumes and milk proteins तो आमे जदि ताको कंबाइन करिक नबा the protein of poor diet based on different cereals are limiting in lysine threonine टा बहुत कम रहउची both in cereals रे and their quality can be improved effectively by incorporation of legumes soybeans milk proteins in the diet तो milk proteins हेले आमे कर्ड यूज करि परिबा प्लस लिग्यूम्स आउ सोयाबीन्स ए सब जिनसटा है आमर हाँ लिग्यूम्स आउ एटा सब सीड्स रे आसीगला तो से सीरियल्स बेस करदे कर्ड ये सब जिन करदे आमको इम्प्रूवमेंट ऑफ सीरियल डाइट्स इन लिग्यूम्स मिल्क प्रोडक्ट बोथ मिलगला तो आम खिचड़ी बनइलु ता सहित कर्ड यूज कलु मिल्क प्रोडक्ट देन वी विल गेट वेरी गुड अमीनो एसिड्स इन डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स केते प्रकार फॉर्म्स रो हमको मिल जिवो देन सप्लीमेंटेशन विथ इंडिविजुअल अमीनो एसिड्स तो supplementations individual amino acids improvement of cereal diets by supplementation with lysine and threonine cereal diets supplemented by with lysine alone or a mixture of lysine and threonine markedly increased by PER of cereal proteins or proteins of cereal poor cereal diets तो आम जो पुअर माने जो अमीनो एसिड्स वेरी lower rate when lots of cereals are there where amino acids levels are very low or where or some cereals are there where amino acids contents are also in medium form then we will lysine alone in mixture and threonine markedly increased by pure cereal protein or proteins or poor cereal diets poor cereal diet जोते थिबा हमें ताकू जदी सप्लीमेंटेशन करवा बा किसी गोटे जिनस मिक्स करवा फोर्टिफिकेशन भी ताको कहती गोटे आउ मोर देन न्यूट्रिएंट्स जदि मिक्स है फोर्टिफिकेशन ऑफ डाइट्स जोटा कह जाउची तो सेमती आमे करके नै परिबा इंप्रूवमेंट ऑफ सीरियल डाइट्स बाय सप्लीमेंटेशन विथ लाइसिन एंड थ्योरेनिन then improvement of soybean and cow's milk protein with methionine. The protein of soybean and cow milks are deficient in methionine. Sulfur containing diets, amino acids or methionine. तो सेटा कौन सोयाबीन एंड काउ मिल्स रे सेटा बहुत लो अमाउंट रे थाए सप्लीमेंटेशन विथ मिथ्योनिन इंक्रीजेस द पीईआर ऑफ द डाइट फ्रॉम 2.0 to 2.9 फॉर सोयाबीन एंड 3 to 4 फॉर मिल्क प्रोटीन्स तो एतिकी हमरो इम्प्रूवमेंट ऑफ सोयाबीन काउ मिल्क प्रोटीन विथ मिथ्योनिन जदि हमें करबा then improvement of sesame and sunflower seeds with lysine supplementation of the limiting amino acid increases the pH of sesamic proteins of 1.7 to 2.9 and sunflower seed proteins एतिकरू एतिके तो इम्प्रूवमेंट करबा को हेले हमको नबा को ए सब जिंस कंबाइन करके सप्लीमेंटेशन करके नेले हमर सेटा इंप्रूव करिवो The method of estimating and assessing protein requirements are different stages of lifestyle. One is age. According to age, we proteins are required. As protein is access to maintenance need to required when a new tissue is being formed. Certain age period when growth is rapid in childhood, in infant's time, or in case of infant, childhood, etc. They require more protein for growth. जो माने growth period जो माने थांती pregnant mother, infant, children, etc. सेमानक पाइन के प्रोटीन रो रिक्वायरमेंट बहुत थाए. Protein is excess of maintenance need is required. And new tissues is begin to form जो tissues सब तैयारी हुए जमती माने grown up सब स्टेज रे थांती तो सेमानक पाइन की तो rapid require between 2.5 to 5 gram protein per kg per day if they are to survive. But commonly according to weight 1 gram of protein 1 gram protein per kg body weight we will provide to the person 1 gram of protein per kg body weight but according to growth and maintenance we should increase as 2.5 to 5 gram protein per kg per day. Okay, then 2.0 to 2.5 gram per kg body weight in satisfactory weight gain. Older infants and children whose growth rate is not as rapid as the premature or newborn infant we will take, and in cases of pregnant women जो टेकी grown up stage रे जो fitness टा थाए तो सेति पाई कि मध्य तार भी requirements is more 2.0 to 2.5 gram per kg body weight called the maintenance level. Then environmental temperature. Environmental temperature rise or fall above or below the range of thermic neutrality. Animals begin to increase their caloric expenditure to maintain their body temperature. Environment is too warm and vasodilation. According to the sweating and increased respiration. So metabolism time re at the time of metabolism, at the time of respiration, at the time of working physical activities etc. we need environment temperature. When the environment temperature will gain by ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମର environmental temperature is ମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ବଢୁଛି ବା କମୁଛି ସେଇ କେସେସରେ ଆମର ସେତେବେଳେ କ'ଣ ହୁଏ ନା ଆମର ଯୋଉ एनवायरमेंटल माने हमर जो मेटाबॉलिज्म हला रेस्पिरेशन हला ए सब जिंस रे हमर प्रोटीन रिक्वायरमेंट अछि. देन previous diet, the effect of previous diet in the determination of protein requirements may be rather profound if for example the subject selected for the studies of protein need to have poorly nourished person and etc. Then previous diet, how it is the effect of previous diet to determine protein requirements. In previous diets jodi when the person is taking very less quantity of protein and she will affect with undernutrition or she will goes a long day for in malnourished or tissues loss muscle wasting etc. जदि long term रे तार muscle wasting चली तार बहुत कम क्वालिटी से कम क्वांटिटी कि किसी क्वांटिटी ही किसी नहीं जहाँ फल कि से प्रोटीन इनटेक करुच्ची तो से भाया से प्रिवियस रे तार ग्रोन अप स्टेज रे मध्य सेटा को फॉलो करी 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 जाउची तो से प्रिवियस डाइट टा को वी हैव टू चेंज अकॉर्डिंग टू आवर रिक्वायरमेंट आमे जदि किछु गोटे फॉलो करूछु घर को कि जहाँ को भी फॉलो करूछु केतिके अमाउंट रो नौछु प्रिवियस डाइट रो आमे ताकू हमर बॉडी रिक्वायरमेंट हिसाब रे हमर ग्रोन अप स्टेज रे हमर फिजिकल एक्टिविटीज मेंटल एक्टिविटीज मेटाबॉलिज्म वर्कआउट एक्सेट्रा हमें जदि देखिबा डे टू डे लाइफस्टाइल तो ता अनुसार वी हैव टू चेंज आवर प्रीवियस डाइट इनटेक ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट्स तो हमें प्रोटीन रो सेटा जदि हमर प्रोटीन रो रिक्वायरमेंट रू ओवर नौछु देन वी हैव टू चेंज फ्रॉम आवर प्रीवियस डाइट तो प्रीवियस डाइट को हमें देखिबा whether it is required for or less required or more required हमको अधिक दरकार अछि कम दरकार अछि से अनुसार हमें करिबा तो तापर फिजिकल एक्टिविटीज अकॉर्डिंग टू द फिजिकल एक्टिविटीज we should take we will increase our protein intake okay then nutritional requirement and recommendation allowances for protein and amino acids तो सेति पई कि हमें कोन कोन दरकार ना इन्फेंट्स पई कि 1.6 ग्राम दरकार चिल्ड्रन माने 0.9 दरकार तो इटा गोटे दे देछि एडल्ट्स मेन वुमेन को पई फैक्टोरियल मेथड द नाइट्रोजन लॉसेस जो यूरिन रे नाइट्रोजन पर केजी बॉडी वेट रे वे प्लस बेसल एनर्जी केते अछि तो एटा सब हमको फार्मूला पाई के दरकार हबो we will put these formulas and get the answers then nitrogen requirements for growth also there in table 4.7 nitrogen requirements for growth 0.3 months to 154 nitrogen per kg body per day lactation mother also there then pregnant according to body weight how much protein she will take sedentary women then according to ICMR 2020s were already changed then you should follow the ICMR guidelines of 2020 then protein deficiency diseases are the two are there one is kwashiorkor and one is marasmus protein energy or protein calorie malnutrition PEM or PCM PEM is protein energy malnutrition distantly nutritional disorder ताको कहंती kwashiorkor was termed as the describe a disease first observed in the Gold Coast of Africa Dr. Cecily Williams in 1935 he William Cecily William discovered about the disease kwashiorkor or protein energy malnutrition disease. Then marasmus on the other hand was regarded as dietary state where both protein and energy are deficient. In same, they observed that one another protein energy malnutrition was there known as marasmus. It is also known as dietary deficiency disorder by disease. Now in the apparent that the system what is kwashiorkor? The term kwashiorkor means the disease the first child get when the second baby is born, that is sickness of the disposed child. The term kwashiorkor means disease of the first child get when the second baby is born. There is no spacing between two child and the sickness of the deposed child. Thus, the child could be cured by milk. It will be cured by milk because maybe mother's milk contain lot of antibodies and all kind of nutrients are there. That's why it can be cured by milk. Kwashiorkor usually affect the young child after he is weaned. Weaned, मतलब weaning हमें दोचु 6 after 6 months. Then it will usually affect the child after he is weaned. It is not sufficient in mother's milk. when the child will get complementary feeding as well as with mother's milk, then then it will the child, the young child will easily cured. ମାନେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେ ମଦର୍ସ ମିଲ୍କ ଖାଲି ସଫିସିଏଣ୍ଟ ହୁଏନି କାରଣ ସେଥିରେ ଆଣ୍ଟିବଡିଜ୍ ଥାଏ, ସମ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଦ ନ୍ୟୁଟ୍ରିଏଣ୍ଟସ୍ ଆର୍ ଅଲସୋ ଦେୟାର ମାନେ ଥାଏ। ତା ସହିତ ଯଦି ୱିନ୍ ଯଦି କିଛି ସେ ନେଲା କି ସପ୍ଲିମେଣ୍ଟାରୀ କମ୍ପ୍ଲିମେଣ୍ଟାରୀ ଫିଟିଙ୍ଗସ୍ ନେଲା, ତାପରେ ସେଟା ରିକଭରିରେ ଟିକେ ହେଲ୍ପ କରେ। Then the child is usually between 1 to 3 years old and is weaned because the mother has given birth to the another child or in pregnant and cannot support both child। ମାନେ ସ୍ପେସିଂ କିଛି ରହିନଥିବ ବା 1 to 2 3 ଇୟର୍ସର ଯେଉଁ ଗ୍ୟାପିଂ ରୁହେ, ଯେଉଁଥିରେ ପ୍ରପର ଡେଭଲପମେଣ୍ଟ ଅଫ୍ ଦ ଚାଇଲ୍ଡର ଯାହା ଦରକାର ଗୋଟେ ମଦର୍ସ ଇଏରେ କ୍ୟାରିଂରେ, ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି ସେଇ ଯେଉଁ ସ୍ପେସିଂଟା ରୁହେନି, ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି ସେ ଅଦର ଚାଇଲ୍ଡ ଯେଉଁ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ଚାଇଲ୍ଡଟା ମାଲନରିସ୍ଡ ହେଇଯାଏ। ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କି another child or pregnant cannot support both children. If the child has no teeth, he is given the gruel. This may be fruit, vegetable, cereal products mixed with water and hence not a good protein source। ଯଦି ଆମେ ତାକୁ ଚାଇଲ୍ଡ ରାଇସ୍ ଗ୍ରୁଏଲ୍ ୱାଟର ବା ପେଜ ଏଇଟା ସବୁ ଦେଲୁ, fruits vegetables ଦେଲୁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଏଇଟା ଯେହେତୁ it is the protein energy malnutrition case, so the child required the child requirement is both calories always as protein। কিন্তু আমি যদি vegetables cereals vegetables and fruits contains vitamins minerals and cereals contains calories and very limiting amount of proteins were there, but the child required high biological value protein, then food hence not a good protein source। Can you think cultural taboos and shortage sugar, the deficiency develops not only because of inadequate intake but also because at this age the growth demand for protein and energy are high। In Kwashiorkor, symptoms are their growth failure. This manifested by decreased body length and low body weight in spite of retention of water in the body. Edema is seen or edema is occurs in the child body. First one is decreased by body length. The growth stops here and low body weight seems, then retentions of water, swellings were there in feet, face, etc. Edema is present in the subcutaneous fats in some children. Growth retardation is primarily due to general quantitative lack of protein. Due to lack of protein, growth stopped. Then mental changes. Several workers have stressed at the constant finding of mental changes. Edema is the occurs at first in the feet and lower leg। ଦେନ୍ ପାଣି ଯେଉଁଟା ସ୍ୱେଲିଂଟା ଆସେ ସେଇଟା ଲୋୟର ଲେଗ୍ସରେ ଆସେ, ଫିଟ୍ରେ ଆସେ, ପାଦରେ। ଇଟ୍ ମେ ଇନଭଲ୍ଭସ୍ ଇନ୍ ଦ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡସ୍, ଥାଇଜ୍, ଫେସ୍ ସବୁଆଡ଼େ ସ୍ୱେଲିଂ ହେଇଯାଏ କାରଣ ଯେହେତୁ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ ଡେଫିସିଏନ୍ସି ଥାଏ ସେଇଠି ଆମର ୱାଟର ରିଟେନସନ୍ ହୁଏ। ମେଣ୍ଟାଲ ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ ମାନେ ପିଲା ପୁରା ଚିଡ଼ଚିଡ଼ା ହେଇଯାଏ, ଇରିଟେଟ୍ ହୁଏ, ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କାରଣ ତାଙ୍କର ଡ୍ୟୁ ଟୁ ଲ୍ୟାକ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଡେଫିସିଏନ୍ସି ଅଫ୍ ପ୍ରୋଟିନ୍ସ। Muscle wasting occurs, then features of kwashiorkor and reduction in arm circumference and less effect of the edema। forearm legs, forearms रे जोटा मुआक टाइप रे हम जोटा देखू, तो सेटा पूरा muscle wasting means losses of proteins बा muscle रो माने पूरा झड़ी जाती, पूरा पतला हो जाती, leaning and thinning जोटा कहा जाए, तो सेटा हो जाए। मून फेस हो जाए because due to the retention of water in the face। moon face, liver changes slightly enlarged and fatty infiltration of liver, fatty liver हो जाए। gastrointestinal tract due to loss of appetite and vomiting are common हो जाए and diarrhea is present in most cases। dehydration हुए, skin and hair changes ସେଥିରେ ଆମର କ'ଣ ହୁଏ ନା କପରିସ୍ ଆମର ହେୟାର ହେଇଯାଏ and skin also in pale in color, pale ମାନେ पूरा ହେଇଯାଏ due to the losses of nutrients। anemic ରୁହନ୍ତି, it is due to the deficiency of iron and folic acid। anemia may be aggravated by parasitic infection which prevent the absorption of nutrients। anemia ହେଲା ପରେ parasitic infection ରେ ଅଲଗା nutrients को absorb କରିବାକୁ ଦିଏନି ବା iron folic acid को। vitamin D deficiency, sign and symptoms of vitamin A deficiency, xeropathemia, keratomalacia are widely prevalent। ମାନେ ସେ ରେଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଓସଟା ଦେଖା ହେଉଛି ବେଶୀ କେରାଟୋମାଲାସିଆ ଆଉ ଜେରୋପାଥେଲେମିଆ ଦେଖାଯାଏ। angular stomatitis, glossitis ମାନେ କଡ଼ ସବୁ ଖାଇଯାଏ। पेट पूरा स्वेलिंग हो जाए, riboflavin may be present due to deficiency कारण जेहेतु parasitic infections आसे malnutrition कारणरू तो अलगा माने nutrients को absorb हो पारेनी. Then serum albumin content ranging from 0 to 7 to 2.2 100 ml. albumin जो प्रोटीन टा जेहेतु सेटा बॉडी रे भलो क्वालिटी प्रोटीन न नेले albumin जदि रिक्वायरमेंट हिसाब रे फुलफिल न होला तबे वाटर रिटेंशन हो जाए. Enzyme in serum and digestive juices. Low level of choline esterase, alkaline phosphates, amylase, lipase have been reported in kwashiorkor. In experimental animal fed to protein deficient diet, reduction in lipase, amylase, protease, activities of pancreas have been reported. तो सब enzymes deficiency फलरे तो तांगर फलरे absorption हुएनी. Then digestive juices are also secreted very low amount. Then second one is marasmus. Nutritional marasmus is also known as protein energy malnutrition. Then nutritional marasmus is due to consumption of diet markedly deficient in both protein and calories. Deficiency of protein and calories, and the age group children age group must be age group of 2 to 4 years. Then clinical features are also same. Growth retardation is there. Child is usually below 60% of the standard weight. Then wasting of muscle, subcutaneous fats, and body leaning, thinning body is seems. Other changes are skin is dry and atrophic. Marasmus cases, skin will be very dry due to dehydration. Then sign of dehydration, eye lessons due to vitamin A deficiency, and anemia may be present. Anemic also in every protein energy malnutritions due to parasitic infections. Absorption of nutrients are very less in these cases of the in these children cases. Deficiency of anemia may be present. Biochemical changes, there is slight lowering of serum albumin. Vitamin A content of serum is low, and the biochemical features with marasmus and kwashiorkor are given in ethic. So in kwashiorkor, edema is in, but in marasmus, edema is not seen or swelling is not seen. Muscle retain is same in both marasmus and kwashiorkor. Biochemical changes in kwashiorkor, albumin level is very low, but in marasmus albumin level is slightly balanced, slightly lowering. That's why edema is not present in marasmus. Albumin ଯେତେବେଳେ କମେ, albumin protein ଟା body ରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ deficiency ହୁଏ ସେତେବେଳେ water retention ହୁଏ, ଆଉ ସେଇଟା ହୁଏ ଆମର kwashiorkor cases ରେ. ଆଉ ଏଠି ଯେହେତୁ albumin ଟା ଟିକେ moderately ରହୁଛି ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଏଠି ମାନେ ଆମର ଦେଖାଯାଉନି swelling, ତ water retention ଟା ନାହିଁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଏଇଠି dry skin ଅଛି, but ସେଠି dry skin ନଥିଲା. ଏତିକି difference. marasmic kwashiorkor is same. So next class we will study about lipids, yeah, fats. Fats measurement. Then fats, anytime. Body fat measurement. Obesity is best classified in adults based on body mass index. How will calculate whether we will obese or non-obese? Then we will calculate the body mass index, their BMI. Then BMI is the measure of body fat based on height and weight. We will take the height of the person and weight of the person, then calculate it as, and then we will get the body mass index. Whether he is underweight or normal or overweight. Then the how do you know how body fat can be measured? How we will take? What are the steps we will measure the body fats? Then one is skin fold method. Another one is impedance method. Skin fold method is a skin fold method utilizes the prediction of body fats from sum of 3 or 4 skin folds: bicep, tricep, subscapular, then regions. Then these are the we will one clipper is there. We will hold. one clipper is there. Then in clippers we will calculate or we will measure the skin fold method whether we wear pads or underwear. Then the sex and adjusted equations of duration and omessalary is calculating body fat according to age of the woman 30 to 39 equations are here. Then 40 to 49 equations is there, and 50 plus we will calculate body fat percentage. D means body density. Then log of summation of skin fold bicep, whether it is bicep, tricep or subscapular shape. Then fat mass is body weight divided by body density. Then impedance methods means method give entire body composition like total body water, fat free mass or lean body mass. Then we will take impedance method, we will take the total body water content body, then fat free mass or lean body mass, then height and weight is there. Types of fat and metabolism. Types of fat metabolism is types of fat consumed by a person is of which oils the family purchases, eating out pattern, choice of food eaten outside or purchased and brought home for consumed by the family. How we will um, what kind of fats the persons consumed in a day? How will you counsel the patient? We will ask which oil you are using, how many family members are there, what is your eating patterns, whether we will whether we will follow the home cooking or you will follow the outside food. Then it is the will counsel the persons about the fat consumption. Fat consumption କେତେ କରୁଛି ଆମେ ତାକୁ କ'ଣ ଅଏଲ ୟୁଜ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି, କେତେ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ମେମ୍ବର୍ସ, ଇଟିଂ ପ୍ୟାଟର୍ନସ୍ କ'ଣ, ବାହାରେ କି ଘରେ କି କେଉଁ ଟାଇପ୍ର ଫୁଡ୍ସ ବେଶୀ ଖାଆନ୍ତି, ତ ସେଇଭଳିଆ କଲେ ଆମେ ଜାଣିପାରିବା କି ଗୋଟେ ପର୍ସନ୍ କେତେ ଦିନକୁ ଅଏଲ କନଜମ୍ପସନ୍ କରୁଛି. Then two types of fats are there. One is visible fat and another one is invisible fat. Visible fats are the fats and oil used such as staple or used for cooking. Visible fats are oil, ghee, etc. Visible fats. Invisible fats are all kinds of cereals products, all kinds of pulses. It contains invisible fats. Nuts and nuts, oil nuts are there. It contains invisible fats. We are not when after touching we are not getting the oilier business. ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ତାକୁ ଧରିଲା ପରେ ଆମେ କିଛି ଅଏଲି ଫିଲ୍ କରୁନୁ କି ବିଜନେସ୍ ଫିଲ୍ କରୁନୁ, ସେଟା ହେଲା ଇନଭିଜିବଲ୍ ଫ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ. It is good fats. Invisible fats is good fat. Visible fats is bad fats. It deposited in our body. For example, vegetable oils, ghee, salad dressings, mayonnaise, butter, cream, etc. are visible fats. Invisible fats are present in naturally as an ingredient components in different foods. Then hence flesh foods, whole milk, peanuts, soybeans, nuts, oilseed species have high invisible fats. It is not visible, it not be seen in our eyes. Cereals contains only 2 to 3% of invisible fats and they constitute bulk of Indian diets and eating. But it contains less amount of visible fats. Visible fats can be derived from both plant and animal origin such as Western sunflower oil is plant-based oil, fats. Then sources of oils are becoming increasingly popular like rice bran oil, palm oil, soya oil, plant-based fats. Then cotton seeds, sesame oils, castor oil, Niger seeds oils, etc. Plant-based oil. Animal source of oils are what? Butter, ghee, etc. Animal source of fats. Classifications of fats and fatty acids are: one are lipids which are solid at room temperature. What is saturated fats and unsaturated fats? Which are converted in room temperature, which are solidifies in room temperature is known as saturated fats বা ବସିଯାଏ, which are liquidifies in room temperature जोटा पूरा पानी ହେଇକି ଥାଏ. तो जोटा ବସିଯାଏ ସେଟା ବଡି ଭିତରକୁ ଯାଇକି ବସିବ, ସେଟା ହେଲା ଆମର saturated, जोटा कि not good for our health. and unsaturated air liquidifies in room temperature, body को जाइकी भी liquidify ହେଇକି ରହିବ, ମାନେ ସେଟା ବସିବନି, तो it is very good for our body. Thank you. Next class ରେ ବାକି lipids ପଢିବା.
Thank you, ma'am.